Good morning, everybody. Allison Benjamin here. Just kidding. Just kidding. You know it's me, Michael Benjamin, with Growing Edge Live here out on the road. Well, actually, we're not on the road right now. We're here. We've come in for a landing, and we've come in for a landing for a little bit of time to convalesce, time to relax, time to lay foundationally on a bed for a week or so. And we are just so blessed to have this reality and so blessed to be with you today. And so we will be giving just a couple minutes before we begin our song. And I begin my message today about lightening up. Lightening up. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for being here. Hey, Rhonda. Good morning. So good to see you. I'm filling in for Allison today. I think you might know why. And I'm so pleased that she gave me the tap. Of all the people that she could call, she called on me. And I feel so grateful and so blessed and so pleased for that. And so I'm going to be speaking today on lightening up. And I have an inspired message that will begin to begin to come forward here shortly. And I'm just so grateful and so thankful to have the opportunity to be able to let it out. And we've been learning and growing a lot over here over the last several months as we've been on the road. We're coming to you live this morning from Scottsdale, Arizona. And so as you come and join in, perhaps you'll let us know where you're joining in from this morning. And our hearts are open. Our hearts are opening to you wherever that may be, wherever you're joining from. And so I am just about ready to begin. What a beautiful day here too, by the way, at Scottsdale. I was in the pool right here yesterday, and it just seems so amazing and nice to be in the month of December, or nearly December, be in the month of November, and actually have the opportunity to sit outdoors in the pool. And so we're going to play our starting song. Thank you. Thank you, Leslie Monroe. That's a cover song written by Leslie Monroe that we play at all the intros of all of our messages, and we are just delighted that she is with us and that she has the ability to put song and music together that are so appropriate to what it is that we're thinking. And so as we begin today to explore into the topic of lighting up, I would like to begin with a little activation, a little process. And so if it feels right for you to join your eyes or close your eyes, join with me and begin to close your eyes. So in closing our eyes, I invite you to open up your inner eye, open up the third eye, and begin to turn within to that part of you that knows that I am not my body. I am not even my mind. That I am, in fact, that which has a body and that which has a mind. And exploring deeper into the awareness of that I am, you are, we are all a part of something universal, something more than this. That power and infinite presence, which we know is everywhere, is never in absence. That infinite divine power, the omniscience, the omnipresence, is made possible or making itself possible by way of the light. The light, the spirit, the omniscient presence which is everywhere. That I am, you are, we are, each light beings, spirit beings of the innermost on high, beings of the divine and infinite power that came into being, that are evolving in and moving forward continuously on this human journey, giving to this spirit, giving to this infinite presence the opportunity to experience life more fully as me, as you, as the birds, as the fish, the creepy crawlers, the trees, the rocks, the snakes, all of it. And so just breathe into that awareness right now that we are giving ourselves a time and space to have a spiritual moment, to have a time and space where we tune into the innermost on high, where we tune in to that power and infinite presence. And as we do, we set ourselves free to be. And so just begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers, maybe loosen up your neck and your shoulders, and make yourself available for the next 20 minutes as we begin to explore deeper and deeper into the light. I like to give myself permission, and I actually say, I give myself permission to be right here and right now. That in fact, there is nowhere else to be at this moment, for now, and nothing else to be doing than to be tuning in right here. And so I invite you to take a breath, open up your eyes, and join with me in this very moment, right here and right now. Thank you. So lighting up, what does that mean, and why would that be beneficial? Well, let's just digress for 1 second. As we have so much diverse energetic going on in our life these days, with the amount of social media. Did you hear that? That guy just yelled, "Good morning, world." And I just think that's amazing. Perfect timing. So as we come into the awareness that there's a multiplicity going on here on this earth plane and this human experience, and there is in fact a multiplicity, and the fact is that there's an energetic presence, that it's giving to itself a physical experience, and that it's also working through that mental aspect, that faculty known as the mind. And the mind is a pretty complex and deep, far-reaching conversation, but there's the broader mind, the deeper mind, the subconscious mind, and then there's the local mind. Okay, so the local mind is working through me, through you, and then as we program deeper and deeper into it, we reach into the broader or the subconscious mind. And this particular experience that's going on, that's experiencing multiplicity, it's in the polarity. We don't always feel good, do we? Whoa, that was kind of an interesting thing. Hopefully I don't lose you. I just saw a flash that said trying to reconnect. So sometimes we feel frustrated. And perhaps you're feeling a little frustrated right now with all the talk of a possible, this pandemic or the COVID discussion, with the talk of potentially shutting things down and limiting the activity, limiting business opportunities, limiting the social gatherings. Boy, as a human, I notice myself that I yearn for the connection with humans. I yearn for being able to sit with and communicate or play with or touch or feel or physically wrestle around with my granddaughters. Recently, we were up in Utah, and we spent a little bit of time with them, but we definitely are taking this COVID thing to heart, and we are staying physically distant, and so we wore masks. We didn't touch them very much, didn't play with them. I normally roll on the ground and wrestle with them, and I know that good morning, Ben, thanks for joining us, but I know that the absence of physical involvement with other humans is sort of playing with me a little bit. And I know, and I hear in my counseling sessions as I talk to other people, that they're actually missing that. can you imagine for a minute, as I was with people in hospice that were making their transitions in the final chapter of their life, and during this time of COVID, their family wasn't even able to be with them until, like if we were in a skilled nursing facility, until the final hours. But the days and the weeks leading up to that, they were in isolation. And family were 100 miles away just listening or talking to me and on the telephone or in video chat. What a way to experience that. So the point is that as we look out into the world and then we listen to the news and we just get a barrage of stuff. And then there's been this recent experiment in life known as social media. Well, partly thankful for social media, because I wouldn't be connecting with you right now if I wasn't on social media. But having said that, the debate as to whether or not it's healthy or whether or not it's good for you, really lies within you and me. And that's ultimately what I'm getting to right now, is the topic of lighting up. Light up this holiday season. Light up our life. And we are the only ones that can do that. It's not up to anybody else to do that for us. Nobody has the power over us. The truth is, the spiritual truth of our being is that we are beings of spirit. We are spiritual beings having a human incarnation. And before we came into our body, before we even emerged into the body temple, the light presence of our being already existed. We are absolutely whole beings, sovereign beings of light. That is our connection to the divine. We are divine beings now and always. And so our presence, which is never in absence, is always on and never off. And so I don't know if you notice, but when you get outside of yourself, when you start projecting your good factor in what he's doing or what she's doing or what they're doing, or only if they did this for me, I want you to notice when you feel that way, how absolutely powerless you feel. The truth is, at that moment, it is true. You are surrendering, circumventing, redirecting your flow of divine good, projecting it through another being, whether it's your husband, your wife, your children, your whatever that is, your employer, your coworker, your sales manager, whatever that is. Whenever you direct your good through somebody else, observe how absolutely powerless you feel in that moment. That's because you're postponing or diverting your good into. Now, I'm a science of mind, a mental science practitioner, and I studied under Ernest Holmes. Actually, I studied under Allison Benjamin. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but she had an injury this week. We spent a few days in the hospital, back injury, and so we've moved. We've come in for a landing here to one of our condos in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we're just enjoying at the moment, this time of respite in a bed where we're not moving around much. And so we're enjoying that. She's doing well. Every minute seems to be getting better. Every day seems to be getting better. And so that too is part of the light providing for us. And so Ernest Holmes had a quote, one of the best quotes that Ernest Holmes that I really liked of him says, "All the power in the universe is with you. Feel it, know it, and then act as though it were true." Feel it, know it, and then act as if it were true. That's having faith beyond doubt. All the power in the universe is with you. That's because we're universal beings. And when we turn to the light, when we turn to the awareness that I am a light being, you are a light being, beings of the divine light. What does that mean? That means that the wholeness that this divine presence is, that the infinite potentiality that it is, that the everlasting presence that it is, I am. I'm a light being having a human incarnation, having a human experience. And that way, I am the way that it is having a joyride on planet Earth. I am the way that it gets to be in that pool right behind me in the next couple hours. I'm the way that it gets to potentially be on the golf course playing golf, or I am the way that it gets to be taking care of my beloved, making meals, doing the things that she usually does for me, I get to do for her. And as I'm doing all of that, in the awareness, knowing that I am the way that the divine's serving my patient in there, that it feels so right to give to her through me everything that I can, everything that I have, and that's a lot. And it just feels so right. But so I pull back. You know, I also study, in studying the science of mind, we study from many teachers. One of the teachers that I also studied from was Gregg Braden. And one of my favorite quotes that Gregg Braden has says, to create reality, focus beyond the outcome as if it has already happened. To create reality, focus beyond the desired outcome as if it has already happened. Why? Because thoughts spark a chemical reaction. Thoughts spark emotion, which ignites the divine creative process into unfoldment. So when I'm consciously aware that I'm a light being, I'm a being of light, that right where I am the light is, right where I am the spirit is, right where I am the infinite power and presence of the divine, which has all the power in the universe, that is absolutely whole, it is whole right now. When I move in that awareness and I get beyond the desired outcome and act as if it is already so, there's a chemical reaction, a spiritual reaction that goes into effect, and it moves forward. It's known as the creative process, the spiritual law of creation. It moves forward vibrationally and becomes that by way of law. See, it governs this universe. It governs physicality. It governs this physical presence by way of governing laws of the universe. One of them is the spiritual law, the governing law of creation. Like attracts like. So as I'm in the awareness of what it would be like I'll give you an example. We were in the hospital, and I was meditating and I was praying, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know that I can keep Allison or help her get as comfortable as she needs to be, as I want her to be, in our little Om Shanti bed, which is an amazing bed, by the way. And we are sitting along some amazing epic locations. But it just felt right to me that we would move into a traditional bed for a period of time. Well, here I am, thousands of miles away from, hundreds of miles away from our normal home, our family, and so forth. And so it came to me, bing, we have ownership privileges at our timeshare at World Mark the Club. I get on and I see, oh, there's one right down the street here in Tucson, Arizona. And of course, I'm in Tucson at the hospital. And so I'm like, how fitting, just within a few miles away. So I go to book. And the computer says, bing, sorry, we're not booking right now. COVID, we've pulled our inventory offline. And I was like, oh no, okay. But I really want to get her into a bed. Maybe I'll go to Airbnb, or maybe I'll do something else. But I start to feel what it feels like to be in a traditional bed. So I call the 800 number at WorldMark and I said, hey, I need a bed. And they said, yeah, Tucson, we've pulled it offline at the moment, but we can work with you in Scottsdale. We can confirm you right now for Scottsdale. And I said, confirm it, you know? And so I just kept seeing us here in Scottsdale, enjoying a bed, enjoying our time, enjoying what that would look like for me to be preparing meals in a traditional kitchen so that I could take care of her in bed, and so on and so forth. I kept connecting with that. All the while, not even sure if she was going to need to have surgery and stay in the hospital or not, but I didn't worry about that. I got beyond, and I started to create what it would be like to feel being here in this space. And within 24 hours, it became clear that we needed to discharge from the hospital and be up here. I drove up here and we've been here, and it's just been easy ever since. And so that's just the way that it works. And so as Gregg Braden said, We get beyond the immediate desired outcome and act as if, using that same teaching that Ernest Holm talked about, which is all of the power in the universe is right here. Act as if it's true and know that it's true beyond doubt. I'm a spiritual being. You are a spiritual being. Another way to call spirit is light. That light presence is everywhere. It's always on and it's never off. It's timeless. I don't think it knows time like we know time here in the human existence. In fact, Dr. Joe Dispenza, who does so much in quantum physics and does so much in the medical field, one of his favorite quotes that I love says, "Conscious thoughts repeated often enough become unconscious thinking." Conscious thoughts repeated often enough become unconscious thinking. And so when I was going through my practitioner training, oftentimes, one practitioner, my prayer partner, I'd say, "Hey, what are you up to?" And they'd say, "Oh, I'm just reprogramming the subconscious." And I knew what that meant, because as we were going deep into that body of work, what we were learning is that our local mind, as we think about things over enough, over and over and over and over and over enough, what happens is they leave the local mind to become part of the subconscious. And the subconscious mind, when we study into that enough, by way of the law of creation, it must become so. It must become so. And so, in lighting up this holiday season, what I want for you to do is to light up your world in the awareness that right where I am, the light of the divine is. Right where I am, the spirit of the divine is. And see it as everything around you. It's lighting up as the tree. It's lighting up as the plant. It's lighting up as the Christmas tree. It's lighting up as my children or my grandchildren. It's lighting up as that person on the other side. Maybe I don't even align with that person. Maybe we don't align so much that I wonder if I even like that person. I'm telling you, you can honor their way, honor their presence in the universe, and you don't even have to really like them. That's love. That's unconditional love. When you look at another being, regardless of their political thoughts, regardless of maybe who they voted for in the past election, regardless of how they demonstrate their place in the world of lack, or they might be screaming out fear or whatever it is, you can actually just take a breath, turn to the light. I am not my body. I am not even my mind. I am that which has a body. I am that which has a mind. I am the light. I am the spirit of the innermost on high. And it's right where I am. Right where I am, the light is. Say that with me. Right where I am, the light is. I am a light being. I am a light being. I am a sovereign being connected to the light. And because that is true, the wholeness and the divine plenitude that the light is, that the divine is the wholeness that I am. That I came into this body, that I came into this presence absolutely whole, needing nothing. Everything that I've needed, everything that has been required for my next evolutionary experience easily and effortlessly makes itself available. It produces. There has never been a time that I wasn't wholly provided for. Every time I look, whether it was a flat tire and I needed a wrench, that was there. If I needed a jack to lift up the trailer, had a flat tire a couple weeks ago. I don't even have a jack. And I was like, wow, I need a jack. And I looked across the street and there was a guy and I says, hey, do you happen to have a jack? He says, you know I do. And so within 5 minutes, that tire was off and the next tire was on, and it was just like that, right? It's like wherever there is a viable demand on the universe, there is a supply to fill that demand. And that's the truth. That's the truth. And so I encourage you from the bottom of my heart, knowing beyond doubt that there is a spiritual presence that is never in absence, that it is never ending and never actually beginning, that it is always on and never off. I encourage you to right now, today, and every day through this holiday season, when you've had enough news and you begin to feel powerless and you begin to feel frustrated and you begin to feel angry and you begin to feel resentment towards other people, when you begin to feel that way, whether it's your family or your friends, or you begin to feel alone, tired of sitting in isolation, tired of sitting alone, I want you to know that there is a presence right where you are, and it's always on and it's never off. And as you close your outer eyes and you turn within, whether it's you go in through your heart, or whether you go in through your analytical mind, or whether you go in through your third eye, many rivers, one stream, I want you to turn and find the awareness that there is a power and presence, and it's right here, and it's right now. I'm never alone because I am one with all of it. And I find the good. You know, the master teacher, Jesus, said, find the good and praise it. Find the good and praise it. Why? Because the spiritual law of creation is always in effect. It's always on and never off. So when we shine the light of awareness on that, then we can begin to find, even in times of, feeling pain, even in times of feeling pain, we can find the good and praise it. And I observed this in action the other day when Allison, definitely dealing in pain, was doing some breath work and doing some breathing, and she came out of what was looking like to me like a meditative state. And the nurse came in, and Allison spoke the word, and she said to the nurse, I want you to know what a difference you make to your patients. I know what a difference you made for me. And I want you to know that in that way you are a lifesaver, that you've touched my life, you've made a difference in my life, and I'm thankful for you. And boy, if this nurse didn't just stop and light up at that moment. And she said, you know what, you made my day, because I was wondering if this was even worth it. I was wondering, is this it? Is this all I'm gonna do for my life? 12 hours a day in a hospital, aching backs and so forth. And so she absolutely lit up, and she was beaming. Within an hour or two, she brought Allison out, and Allison got up in the RV, and they embraced in a hug. And I know that Allison at that moment found the good in the light of awareness, and the Spirit was letting her know that she needed to reach out and touch this other being and praise it. And as she did that, she lit up. Shanna lit up. And she became like, I make a difference to people. This is worth it. This is definitely worth it. And I just absolutely loved seeing that exchange, that energetic exchange take place. And so it's time that we wrap up. And I want to close in a prayer and an activation where we move into the truth of our being. And so I invite you just to take a deep breath. And as you do, I want you to follow that breath all the way in and all the way out. Breathing in and breathing out. I am not my body. I am not even my mind. I am not my body. I am not even my mind. I'm that which has a body, that which has a mind. I am more than this. I know that I am surrounded by and immersed in an infinite power and presence that is everywhere. That there is in fact only one power. That this power and presence, that which has many names, many languages, 7-8 billion people, thousands of years, there's been all kinds of names for it, but right now I'm calling it the light. There's one light. We are all living and moving and having our beingness in it. We are light beings, having a human evolution, a human incarnation. Right where I am, supporting this body temple, these 50 to 70 trillion cells, 1,014 atoms inside of each cell. Atoms are made up of subatomic particles, electrons, mitochondria, DNA strands, all kinds of things. There are these electrons, and this is where the light comes in. In quantum physics, they know it slows down vibrationally just enough to thicken into form for the multiplication process to give shape, to take shape. Right where I am, right where you are, right where we are, the light is. The wholeness that we are is divine wholeness. Sovereign beings of divine wholeness. Unlimited in potential, unlimited in scope. And so as we lighten up this season, this holiday season, we give thanks for virtual spiritual communities like the Satya Center. We give thanks for virtual spiritual communities that are all over this planet, that also become in-person meetings with meditation groups and prayer circles and Sunday gatherings when that's appropriate. We give thanks for the divine being our source and our supply. Thank you, divine presence. Thank you, infinite divine presence. Thank you for the ever-changing body temple. Thank you. Lighten up and lightening up. Thank you. And we surrender into the action of the law of the divine presence. We know that it knows how to do it. It doesn't need to be told how. We let it go and allow it to be. Thank you. And as always, we thank you very much for continuing to support financially with your offerings our nonprofit, Satya Center, via Venmo. And so you can go into Venmo and find the Satya Center in Ogden, Utah. And you are the way, or the Divine Spirit is the way through you that we realize dollars and cents. And so we are just celebrating you as the offerings come in that continue to allow us to have a room, a meditation room up there in Ogden, and continue to keep this possible. And so thank you very much. We see you giving, we celebrate you, and we honor you. And so peace and blessings with you this week. Whether Allie's back next week or I'm here, we will be here as usual, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, Growing Edge Live, the Satya Center. Thank you very much. Peace and blessings, and over and out. Have a wonderful day. Oh, and as always, just one more thing too. We always have prayer practitioners available for you, 24 hours a day. You can always DM us or private message us, send an email to us, text us. You know how to get in touch with us. Our contact information is always available on our Facebook page and websites. And so if you're looking for a partner, a prayer partner, somebody to sit with you in consciousness, just know that we're here for you. Namaste. Peace and blessings.